Okay, so now I'm going to give a quick rundown on the essay that you have to do that's due on the 19th of June, right? This one, I've picked the document that you're going to write an essay about. You need to write an argumentative essay, right? A persuasive essay. Okay, the document that you're going to be writing on is the Emancipation Proclamation. This is a fantastic document, right? Abraham Lincoln was a trench lawyer. Every word of this document has some significance and meaning behind it. That's how well crafted it is, right? And so it's kind of an interesting one to go over. So you will read the document, and in the assignment, if you look at it, you have a link to it. It'll open it up from, I think it's from the National Archives. That's where I have that link to. And then after you read the document, you need to decide what you're going to talk about, what kind of persuasive essay you want to write. In doing that, you need to create an argument, right? What are you going to prove? Okay. You need to analyze this primary source. You can use other sources, right? But you have to use the primary source, the one that I provide. It has to be used somewhere in there. So where do you want to go with it? Do you want to the writing itself? Do you want to make an argument that it actually didn't free any slaves? Do you want to make an argument on how it applies to our situation today, right? Any way you want it, any direction you want to take it, that's fine, as long as you create a cohesive thesis statement that states what your argument's going to be. What are you going to prove, right? Best way, if you have trouble with thesis statements, the best way to come up with one is as you're reading the document, write down, have a pad of paper, write down any question that pops in your head, and when everything's done, answer one of those questions. The answer to that question is your thesis statement. And then the supporting paragraphs are you providing evidence that proves that that answer you gave was right. So if I decide I'm going to write a thesis, the sky is yellow. Okay. Now so I'm going to introduce that, and then I'm going to say the sky is yellow. There's my thesis statement, about as basic as you can get with the thesis statement. And then every supporting paragraph is going to provide evidence and support to my assertion that the sky is yellow. And if I've done a good job, then I write a conclusion that recaptures my argument, and I have convinced you by the end of this that the sky is actually yellow. All this stuff that was blue, right? That's what a good argumentative essay can do. It persuades you, right, to go along with the argument that the author presents. Okay, so make sure that you write a solid introduction, a solid thesis statement describing what you're going to talk about. Your supporting paragraphs provide good evidence, citing any sources that you use using Chicago footnotes. That's why you had to do footnotes in the previous assignment. That means that any place where you use a source, at the end of that sentence, there should be a little superscript number, and at the bottom of that page should be the citation, right? Okay. And then write your conclusion in which you recap your argument. Do not write a Forrest Gump conclusion where you just say, that's all I got to say about that, right? Recapture your argument. That's your moment to pat yourself on the back. See how I proved myself right? All right. The requirements for this assignment are simple. It must contain a clear thesis statement, right? Not one of these ones that's broken out into 3 sentences and it's really fuzzy on what you're actually going to argue about. A single sentence that just captures what you're going to argue about. Okay. Second, it must use the primary source in the writing. Okay. It must be at least 1,000 words long, and that's not counting any footnote citations. Okay. It must have 1,000 words of text. Okay. Times New Roman, 12-point format, double space, standard 1-inch margins, right? Do all that, right? It's easier to read if it's double space, so please do that. You save it as a doc or a docx or a PDF, and then you turn it in through the portal here in Canvas. When you do that, it will send it off to Turnitin. It does a plagiarism check, and then I get it, okay? So it's just that simple. Again, I also provided a link to the citation guide, and again, you can always hit me up with any questions. And that includes, like, you can always just do something like email me your thesis statement. Is this really a good thesis statement? And I will critique it, right? Don't be afraid to do that. If you do that, write a good solid essay, then there you go. Another easy 100 points towards your quest for an A.